Tessa Young is a bright, dedicated, and determined young woman who has just started her first year of college. Her life seems perfectly planned out, she's got a sweet, steady relationship, and she's ready to focus on her studies. But things start to change when she meets her roommate, Steph, who's the complete opposite of Tessa. Steph is wild, free-spirited, and introduces Tessa to a new world of college parties and unconventional friendships. At one of these parties, Tessa's life takes an unexpected turn when she meets Hardin Scott, a mysterious, brooding bad boy with a reputation. Hardin is everything Tessa is not: rebellious, unpredictable, and emotionally distant. Despite their differences, Tessa feels an undeniable attraction to Hardin. The more she gets to know him, the more she is drawn into his world. Tessa's perfect plan begins to unravel as Hardin challenges everything she thought she knew about herself and what she wants out of life. As Tessa becomes more involved in college life, her interactions with Hardin become increasingly frequent. Their connection deepens during a literature class where they debate the themes of love and betrayal in Pride and Prejudice. Hardin's cynical view of relationships contrasts sharply with Tessa's romantic ideals, sparking heated discussions that only heighten the tension between them. It's clear that Hardin's views are shaped by a troubled past, but Tessa can't help but feel intrigued by his perspective. At first, they clash over their contrasting personalities. Tessa's structured and cautious approach to life is at odds with Hardin's rebellious and carefree attitude. Despite this, there's an undeniable chemistry between them that neither can ignore. Hardin starts showing up unexpectedly in Tessa's life, and their encounters are often filled with tension and unspoken attraction. He challenges her beliefs and pushes her out of her comfort zone, leading Tessa to question the life she's always known. Though she tries to resist, Tessa finds herself drawn to Hardin's complexity and vulnerability, sensing that there's more to him than his tough exterior. As their relationship grows more intense, Tessa begins to pull away from her high school boyfriend, Noah. She struggles with guilt, knowing that she's developing feelings for Hardin, but she's unable to stop herself from being drawn to him. The more time she spends with Hardin, the more she realizes that her life is changing in ways she never anticipated. Their relationship reaches a turning point when Hardin takes Tessa to a secluded lake. Here, away from the pressures of school and expectations, they share a moment of vulnerability, and Hardin opens up to Tessa in a way he hasn't with anyone else. This experience brings them closer, and Tessa begins to see a softer side of Hardin, one that's hidden beneath his tough exterior. After their intimate moment at the lake, Tessa finds herself increasingly conflicted. Her attraction to Hardin grows stronger, but so do her doubts about where their relationship is heading. Hardin is unpredictable and emotionally guarded, and Tessa can't figure out if he truly cares for her or if she's just another conquest in his seemingly endless string of casual relationships. Despite her reservations, Tessa is unable to stay away from Hardin. She begins to distance herself from Noah, who is unaware of the turmoil Tessa is going through. Meanwhile, Hardin's behavior becomes more erratic. One moment he's sweet and attentive, showing Tessa glimpses of the vulnerability he keeps hidden from the world. The next he's distant and cold, pushing her away whenever she tries to get too close. Tessa is left confused and emotionally drained, unsure of where she stands with him. Despite all the red flags, Tessa decides to give in to her feelings for Hardin. They begin a passionate and intense relationship, but it's clear that their connection is as destructive as it is thrilling. Tessa is caught in a whirlwind of emotions, torn between her desire for Hardin and the knowledge that their relationship might not be good for her. As Tessa and Hardin's relationship deepens, the intensity of their emotions continues to grow. They become inseparable, spending almost every moment together, and Tessa starts to distance herself from everything and everyone else in her life, including her studies. Hardin's influence on her is undeniable, and she begins to adopt some of his reckless tendencies, exploring a side of herself that she never knew existed. However, the highs of their relationship are matched by extreme lows. Hardin's unpredictable behavior and emotional baggage create constant tension. He continues to struggle with his past, and Tessa often finds herself at the mercy of his mood swings. Despite these challenges, she remains determined to help Hardin heal, believing that her love can save him. Their relationship takes another turn when Hardin invites Tessa to meet his estranged father, Ken Scott, who is the chancellor of the university. Tessa learns that Hardin's troubled past is deeply connected to his father's abandonment, which left Hardin scarred and distrustful of love. Seeing this side of Hardin, Tessa feels a renewed sense of empathy for him, even as she struggles with the emotional roller coaster he's putting her through. The turning point comes when Tessa discovers that Hardin has been keeping a dark secret from her. During a heated argument, Hardin reveals that their entire relationship began as a dare bet he made with his friends that he could make the good girl fall in love with him. This revelation shatters Tessa, leaving her feeling humiliated and betrayed. The trust she had placed in Hardin is completely destroyed, and she's left questioning everything they shared. Devastated, Tessa breaks off their relationship, vowing to never speak to Hardin again. She retreats into herself, heartbroken and ashamed that she allowed herself to be manipulated. The pain of the betrayal is overwhelming, and Tessa feels like her entire world has been turned upside down. She struggles to find a way to move on, but the emotional wounds Hardin inflicted run deep. Hardin, on the other hand, is consumed with guilt and regret. He realizes too late that his feelings for Tessa were real, and that he's lost the one person who truly cared for him. Desperate to make amends, Hardin tries to reach out to Tessa, but she refuses to see or speak to him. The damage has been done, and Tessa is determined to leave Hardin and the pain he caused behind her. He writes her letters apologizing for the pain he caused and expressing his true feelings, but Tessa is too hurt to accept them. Despite her attempts to keep her distance, Tessa's resolve begins to weaken as she sees the lengths Hardin is willing to go to make things right. She starts to wonder if it's possible for people to change, and if she can ever forgive him for what he did. The pull between them is still strong, and Tessa can't deny the love she feels for Hardin, even as she struggles to trust him again. In a moment of vulnerability, Tessa agrees to meet Hardin to talk things through. During their conversation, Hardin opens up about his troubled past, explaining the reasons behind his actions and why he built up walls to protect himself. He admits that he was afraid of being hurt, which is why he kept people at arm's length, but with Tessa, things were different. He never expected to fall in love with her, and when he did, it scared him. Hardin's raw honesty touches Tessa, and she begins to see the depth of his remorse. As Tessa listens to Hardin's heartfelt confession, she starts to see the sincerity in his words. Hardin's vulnerability and his efforts to change show Tessa that he's genuinely remorseful for the pain he caused. Though her heart is still guarded, Tessa begins to consider the possibility of giving Hardin another chance. Hardin's persistence and the deep love he expresses eventually break through Tessa's defenses. She realizes that, despite everything, she still loves him, and that love is worth fighting for. As they walk hand in hand into this new chapter of their lives, they know that there will be challenges ahead, but they're willing to take them on together. Chapter ends on a note of hope and redemption, showing that while love can be complicated and messy, it's also a powerful force that can lead to growth, healing, and new beginnings.